Oh, Canada, the land of kind, apologetic people, moose, maple syrup, a budding entertainment industry, and billionaires? Yes, Canada is a country full of billionaires, and if you've ever driven through Bridle Path in Toronto, that is very apparent. There are currently 45 billionaires and 1.3 million millionaires in the city, and though I'm friends with many of them, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the 5 most wealthy people in Canada. With their combined net worth, these 5 men could buy every gallon of maple syrup Canada produces per year on average for 151 years. That's a lot of syrup. They're going to need a lot of waffles, if you ask me. Today, we're going to take a look at each of these wealthy individuals, how they've earned their money, and what exactly they've spent it on. Number 5. James Irving. Chances are you probably haven't heard of James Irving, who is number 5 on our list. However, with a net worth of $6.3 billion, I can guarantee you've heard of a few of the companies he's at the helm of. James owns J.D. Irving, a conglomerate that has businesses ranging from shipbuilding to oil to publishing companies to sports teams to radio stations. Needless to say, it covers a lot of ground. The business was originally owned by James's dad, K.C. Irving, who founded Irving Oil in the 1920s, which helped skyrocket the family to success. When his father died in 1992, his father's assets were split between James and his 2 brothers, leaving James in charge of J.D. Irving Limited and Irving Woodlands, which owns 1.25 million acres of land within the United States and has planted over 1 billion trees since its formation in 1957. James also had the distinction of being the oldest person on my list today. At the age of 91, he keeps his lavish purchases and properties under wraps. With a $6.3 billion fortune, I'm sure he's enjoying his time up in Canada. Number 4. David Sheraton. The next person on our list made his billions largely by being an angel investor, that is. David Sheraton has a staggering net worth of $6.4 billion, which he earned primarily by having a keen eye for successful businesses and marketing plans. After earning a PhD in computer science from the University of Waterloo, David quickly got started co-founding company after company to roaring success. His first business was Granite Systems, founded with a college buddy, which was bought by Cisco shortly after its creation. In 1998, David became an angel investor for a small little startup you might have heard of, Google. As if helping fund Google wasn't enough, David went on to co-found and invest in Kelia, Asta Data Systems, and Tintree, all of which have gone on to make him millions and millions of dollars. It's safe to say David has a good eye for making billions, but how exactly does he spend them? Well, he doesn't. David is known well for being a cheapskate billionaire. He has no giant houses, no fancy cars, no private jets, or expensive jewelry. While I can't relate to any of his choices, I have to commend him for it, because when he does spend his money, he spends it on things that truly matter, namely charity. David has donated $25 million to the University of Waterloo, $9.5 million to the University of British Columbia, and another $7 million to Stanford University. Number 3. Galen Weston. The majority of billionaires in the world come from old money, and the next person on our list is no exception. Galen Weston has a net worth of $9 billion. His wealth can be traced back to 1882, when his grandfather founded George Weston, a food processing and distribution company. However, Galen didn't earn the reins to his family's company right off the bat. He started by creating his own chain of small grocery stores in Ireland back in the 1960s. After seeing his success, his father gave him control of Loblaws, which at the time was a struggling grocery store chain. Galen immediately got rid of the struggling locations and worked on completely redesigning the remaining companies, which was met with massive success. After this victory, Galen went on to serve as the president of George Weston Limited, which has a revenue of just about $48 billion a year. Naturally, his wealth has increased over time, earning him his incredible net worth. Much like David, Galen has spent a lot of his fortune on philanthropy. He has a foundation that regularly funds scientific research, supports the environment, and supports the Salvation Army. However, unlike David, Galen likes a few of the finer things in life, and I can relate. In 2010, Galen purchased a $5.8 million home in Toronto. Now, Toronto is a beautiful city, but winter there isn't most people's cup of tea. When you're as rich as Galen, that isn't a problem. Following in the footsteps of billionaires all over the world, Galen also purchased a vacation home in Vero Beach, Florida. Number 2. Joseph Tsai. Having the distinction of being both the runner-up and the youngest person on our list, Joseph Tsai has a net worth of $10.2 billion. Another interesting distinction? He comes from new money, having made his fortune just starting in 1999. Joseph was born in Taiwan and schooled in both the United States and Canada. He went through the usual motions, getting a doctorate from Yale, working at a law firm, then a buyout firm, then an investment firm. But it wasn't until he met Jack Ma that things really got interesting. Ma wanted to start an international company that would import and export goods online, and Joseph was so won over by Ma's enthusiasm that he quit his $700,000 a year job and began the startup with Ma for practically nothing. The company could have flopped, but of course, it didn't. It went on to become Alibaba, which is now one of the top 10 most valuable companies in the world. Its online sales add up to more than Walmart, Amazon, and eBay combined. In short, they're making an insane amount of money every year. Joseph even went on to buy the Carolina Panthers and the Brooklyn Nets, which has only added to his incredible net worth. Number 1. David Thompson. The most wealthy person in Canada is David Thompson, with an unbelievable net worth of $39 billion. While you may not have heard of him, you've certainly heard of Thomson Reuters, the company that has evolved from Thomas Corporation, which was founded by his grandfather. David Thompson currently owns 350 million shares in the billion-dollar company, which is the largest contributor to his incredibly high net worth. But it isn't just Thomson Reuters that David Thompson earned his wealth from. He and his family also owned stake in Bell Canada and owned the Globe and Mail, the most widely read newspaper in Canada. Of course, with that kind of money and family history, David was given an opportunity to invest his finances in other places. He's a prolific art collector, owning works from Rembrandt, Edvard Munch, Egon Schiele, and J.M.W. Turner. Art isn't the only thing he's invested in with his billions. David owns several luxurious homes in London and 2 combined properties in Toronto that are each worth billions, one of which was owned by James Stewart, the Canadian mathematician. So, there you have it, the 5 wealthiest Canadians. What do you think of how they've earned their billions? Does it make you want to say, eh? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Mr. Luxury. Pip pip to doodly doo.